Hello, everyone. On this last Thursday in June, I am your host, Wanda L. Scott, and we are here giving you a mindset pivot so you can thrive and not just survive mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Welcome to Thrive Thursdays. Are you ready to thrive? That is the question of Thursday on these Thrive Thursdays. Are you ready to thrive? And when I think about Troy Holt, the fabulous financial educator, and what he's been bringing to us every Thursday in June, it brings me to the very premise of what we talk about on Thrive Thursdays, and that's having that mindset pivot. Remember, whether you played basketball or you kept one foot in place and then you moved other foot in any direction, change directions, change your thought, or whether you're agile where you just needed to modify while retaining some continuity from a previous version, the previous version of you and how you thought about stuff. So I want to remind you that these financial motivations, mindset pivots are just ways that you can tweak and modify and make sure you're not just surviving, because sometimes we get in that survive mode and we don't know that we're there because we've been doing it so long. So in saying that, let me bring Troy Holt on for our final Thursday Thrive. Welcome, Troy.
Hey, Wanda, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the welcome. I've enjoyed these. When we did 3 or 4 Thursdays, can't remember. Maybe 4 because I think it's
This is our
5.
fourth.
Okay, it's 4. But thank you for this opportunity to be a part and to just share, look, tips, wisdom, and tidbits, to help people. I'm here to serve and here to add value. Today we'll talk about milestone number 4. And that's debt management. Remember those, if you're new here, and we had 7 money milestones, and we kind of skipped around, but milestone number 4 is debt management.
Okay.
And I read a statistic today. We're talking about mindset, and it says that in America, about 30% of most people in America, about 30% of their income goes towards debt. That's huge. 1/3 of their income is going toward debt. Now, here's the thing about debt. You have what people call good debt and bad debt. Good debt could be if you go to college, you got student loan debt, or go to school, some type of trade school, it's student loan debt. Not a big fan of it, but I can consider that good debt because you're taking the time to invest in yourselves. Maybe you starting a business or something. That could be a good debt. You invest in yourself. But a lot of debt is consumer debt. And what happens is many times we try to, the old saying, keep up with the Joneses. We got to get a bigger car. We got to get a bigger house. And we continue this cycle of in debt and indebtedness. And a couple of things that I kind of learn when I kind of talk to people, I recommend to people, let's say they're young people and they're getting married. And one of the things that I recommend them when they getting married and they're new, well, a couple of things. Number one is your wedding is about you. It's not about others. Most people spend so much time on the wedding and less time on the marriage when you spend more time on the marriage instead of the wedding. The wedding is one day. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a nice, elegant wedding, but don't go in debt, because many times people are trying to impress others. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but they're trying to impress others. It's for you. I recommend them, when they have this particular a wedding, hey, do something different. Have a small wedding, maybe a big reception. Then that's way everybody don't have to go buy dresses and tux, and have them to give you money as a wedding gift. That way you can take that money and put it toward down payment on a house. It's just using some wisdom. You want to say something, Wanda?
Yeah. And so I want to bring it back to that
Yeah.
thriving, right? So
Yeah.
based on this recommendation, if you go all in on the wedding, then you put yourself in survival mode as soon as you're married because
True.
of the debt, is what you're saying.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you're starting your marriage out in survival mode. And so this is a teaching you to start practicing thriving from the beginning. All
Yes.
right. The
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
point.
And so you don't get caught up into, trying to impress people because it's your wedding. You don't have to have all the food and the hors d'oeuvres and to impress people. It's your wedding. If people don't like it, then don't come or have them to donate something to make it better. And so sometimes we get caught up in that. But overall, in America, we have the good debt, and then we have the bad debt. And the bad debt many times is credit card. And so instead of us paying cash or a debit card, we put it on the credit card. Now, years ago, I've been in those cycles. I tell people just about every financial situation, a bad or negative financial situation, Ian and my wife, been married 30 years, we've been there. And we can tell you, some experiences that we have. And so those credit cards become where you see something on sale and you want to charge it and you want to buy it, and then you just end up racking up, and then you overwhelm in debt. And remember the rule of 72. So the rule of 72 says this: take whatever your interest rate is, you get set a savings account. If you're getting 6% savings account and you divide it by 72, that answer is going to tell you how long it takes your money to double. So 6 divided into 72 is 12. It's going to take 12 years for your money to double if you're getting 6%. Now, if you flip it the opposite way, it works the same. So if you're paying a 21% interest on a credit card, you divide it by 72, whatever that answer is, that's going to take that credit card maybe 4 years for their money to double. So it works against you and it works with you. And so having consumer debt is detrimental. It causes stress for people. We're going into emotional and spiritual. So having that debt, people start having anxiety and they start having depression, and it becomes a lot of. And then it put a strain, if they're married, it put a strain on the marriage because that. Now the second thing I wanted to say, back to a married couple. I know what it was. I kind of lost my thought. I recommend people. So a new couple, they get married, especially if they don't have children. I tell them, be careful when they get ready to go buy a house. 2 things: be careful in buying a house based on both incomes, because the mortgage company is going to tell you what you can afford, but you need to go in there and dictate to you what you're going to pay. So the mortgage company say you qualify for 400,000. You say, well, I'm only going to do 300,000. You dictate to the terms. So the 300,000. So let's say they get the house and then they get a car. They got 2 car notes. So sometimes what happens is, this doesn't happen all the time, the woman gets pregnant. And now she has a high risk pregnancy. She can't work and you don't have the income coming in. So now you got more pressure because you based everything on that one, both incomes, and then something come up. So I try to, use some wisdom here. And I'm not saying every woman going to have a high risk pregnancy. It could be the opposite. The man something could happen to him. But I'm just saying these are things that people don't think about. And then when they get them, they got that debt and that pressure. And so that's what I want to say. Debt management is huge.
I love that. I know this is a huge topic, Troy. I know, and you're trying to get it into to the Thrive Thursday time. But hopefully this will pique people's thought process. So they'll start to critically think about this, because I love it. You said, don't just find out how much money you can spend, find out what they say, and then you decide what. I love that critical thought that can only come from, someone like you who thinks and sees all of these things. So I really appreciate that. And you already brought in, like you said, the mental and emotional and spiritual thoughts around being in debt, the anxiety. We know in the Word of God that we're to be anxious for nothing. Stress is an emotion that is one that leads to all kinds of health conditions. and mentally the critical thought to make wise decisions, not just get excited about what can happen, but what is that going to do, or what you can buy, but
Yep.
what is that going to do to you in the long run? So I just kind of pulled the mental, emotional, and spiritual from what you said. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Yeah. Again, these things are just wisdom, from personal experience, from research, and others, because remember, there's a saying that says bad things happen to good people, and life hits us all, and we can't prepare for everything. But however, as a minister, I've ministered a message before, and the title of the message is "Expect the Unexpected." That's all I got, Wanda.
All right, excellent. I mean, that's wisdom. We want wisdom from God our Father. So I thank you so much for this information, Troy. I thank you for your time in this month of June to feed people with some financial wisdom, educating them so that they can thrive and not just survive. Maybe I hope to see you with me on another platform another time, but I pray that continue blessings on your business, that you continue to help people in ways and thought processes that they don't think about. I just thank you once again for being here with me.
You're welcome. Thank you, Wanda. Appreciate it.
All right. All right. So, as you know, I am here on Thrive Thursday, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So, follow, like, and connect with me, Wanda L. Scott at Wanda Empowers. Everything is in the details, and I will see you next Thursday. And hopefully, in between time, you will be thriving and not just surviving mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Thank you, and have a wonderful holiday weekend.